Everyone, welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm starting on YouTube. Basically, I'm going to be doing like a daily chatty video where I just talk about a range of different topics for like around 10 minutes, kind of like podcast vibes, but I'm currently traveling and I don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm just going to call it a chatty series for now. This is going to be as well as my current daily vlogs, no need to panic. I'm still going to be filming daily vlogs. I love doing that. I just want to try something a little bit new. This series isn't going to be restricted to just travel content at the moment. I'm willing to be talking about anything and everything really. So if anyone has any topics or anything they would like me to discuss, let me know and I can do that. I only started posting on YouTube a few weeks ago and all of my content is travel vlogs with fun, exciting activities, but I've never actually explained much about myself or even introduced myself, I don't think. So I thought a great first topic for my series would be me. So today I'm going to talk about my journey to becoming a lawyer at 23 years old. I'm literally just going to set a timer for 10 minutes and just talk. Okay, ready? Okay, starting off with how I first knew that I wanted to become a lawyer. I was one of them that absolutely thrived off academic validation. I've always been a teacher's pet. I just absolutely love it. I would like get 99% and then go home and cry because I didn't get 100%. I'm not so bad now, but I used to be so bad for that. And when I was in school, everyone would tell me how hard it is to be a lawyer, like how clever you had to be, how many hours you had to put in, like just generally how difficult it was. And I honestly saw that as a challenge, and I think I liked the idea of being able to do something that everyone else thought was hard. Not gonna lie, I also just loved Law and Order. I loved Law and Order, I loved Scandal, I loved How to Get Away with Murder. And so I was like, right, well, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And there was never any doubt about it. Like I literally knew that I was gonna be a lawyer and I just became one. GCSEs, I smashed all of them. I got A's, some A stars, and I even remember thinking back then like the A's were pathetic. Like I was genuinely annoyed that they weren't all A stars. Like it's given major try hard. Anyway, moving on to A levels, I did biology, psychology and English literature. I did want to do history, but the sixth form where I did my A levels was really small and it didn't actually offer that. So I got stuck with biology. Hated A levels. I hated it. I didn't really have any friends. I absolutely hated biology. It made us miserable. I ended up getting quite average A level results. I got BBC, which when you used to get top marks, I was devastated. I took it really hard. I think I can genuinely count on one hand the amount of times that I went out with my friends for the whole of the first year of uni. No socialising allowed whatsoever. It was work, 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 work. No amount of reading was ever enough. My mum would always used to say to us, like, oh, how much work have you got left to do? And she just didn't understand that until my exam was over, I would never be done. Like, I could just read and read and read and read and read until it was over. This is making me sound like a bit of a psychopath. I'm coming across a bit mental here, but this is a safe space. I'm being honest, okay? I just loved it. I was obsessed with it, and I wanted to do well, and I think it was like that throughout the whole of university. I really loved learning new things. I loved working hard at something. For me, I would rather be stressed than bored. My brain has to be stimulated. I can't be bored, and I think that's what makes law the perfect career for me. I don't think I've ever once been bored and my brain hasn't been stimulated in the entire time I've been a lawyer. I think it was in my second year I managed to secure a 3-day work experience placement at Daisy Beachcroft, which is an international firm. And I remember just walking around and thinking, one day I'm going to be good enough to work here. Basically, I got sat with a lot of different departments. Someone from that department would kind of sit with me and tell me a bit about their day-to-day life and the kind of work that they did. And eventually I got sat with a girl from Clinical Risk, and she pulled up a case that she was working on, which involved a man who was suing the NHS because he had tried to inject something into his private area in an attempt to make it bigger, and it had become infected. And from that moment on, I was inspired. I knew that medical law was the area for me. So I went back to uni and I chose medical law for one of my options in third year. And I really gave it my all. I tried really hard, and I ended up winning an award for best performance in medical law. I think I got like £500. Like, it was amazing. It was great. So I finished my bachelor's degree in 2021. However, I went to Northumbria, who offered something called an integrated master's, And this is a 4-year course, and at the end of it, it meant that I came out with the equivalent of a master's in law, and I was also exempt from sitting the legal practice course, which was amazing because it meant I didn't have to pay for it. So I had another year of uni. During this time, I was writing my dissertation, which I actually did in sports law, and it was on intersex athletes and whether they should be allowed to partake in the women's category of sporting events. But that is a story for another day. If anyone's interested in hearing more about that, I'll be happy to discuss that further. Whilst I was doing my final year of uni, I managed to secure a paralegal role. Following COVID, all of my lectures had been recorded and they were uploaded online. So I actually did my paralegal role full-time alongside full-time uni for that entire year. So I would get up, do my 9 till 5, come home, watch any lectures, recordings that I had missed from that day, and then I would start revising. And again, that was such a slog, but I remember when I was interviewing for the paralegal role, my old boss had said at the time, I don't think that you'll be able to do that full time alongside university. And I was like, okay, watch me, I'll prove you wrong. And then I did, and it was fine, to be fair. I mean, it was long, but it was fine. I got a first in my degree, and then I graduated in July 2022, and I managed to secure a training contract to start in September 2022. And because of my paralegal experience, they also reduced my training contract by 6 months. So it was only 18 months instead of the usual 24 months. I also didn't do my training contract in the usual conventional way. So for anyone that doesn't know, usually you would do 6 months in 4 different departments. You would kind of choose which one you'd like the best, and then after the training contract was done, you would pick one of those departments to qualify into. I actually did 15 months in medical negligence, and then I did 3 months in conveyancing because I just knew that medical negligence was what I wanted to do. That was what I was interested in. All the cool girls do medical negligence. So I finished my training contract in March 2024 on literally a random Tuesday, and then on that same Friday, I left that firm and I moved to another firm, which was, funnily enough, DC Beechcroft, full circle. I worked there for 10 months. And honestly, I loved it. I loved the work, I loved the people, I loved everything about it. So obviously, I took the next logical step, which was to quit. I quit my job and I decided to take a career break. I can do a whole other video on why I decided to take a career break in law if anyone was interested in that. But yeah, I booked my one-way flight to Thailand, and that takes us up to today. What time are we on? Okay, I have 3 minutes left. What advice can I give you? Okay. First things first, and I personally think, most importantly, the key to becoming a lawyer is your mindset. Being a lawyer is hard. It's really hard. It's hard to become a lawyer. It's hard to be a lawyer. But if you want it bad enough, then it's going to happen for you. You can't let anything put you off. If you think, oh, I'm sick of this, like it's hard, it's taking too long, and you give up, then you're right. You're never going to make it. Of course you're not. If you give up, then it's not going to happen for you. It's the same as everything else in life. If you try hard enough, then you'll succeed. And I know I've just sat and told you that I became a lawyer at 23, which is really quick. But even if I didn't become a lawyer until I was 33 or 43 or 53, I would have kept the same mindset of, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. No matter what, I'm going to make it work. And I honestly think that mindset is what led me to being successful in this field. That is, for me, the most important tip that I can give you. What else? Okay. This might be a bit controversial, but academics are not everything. Personality is a huge factor in securing a legal role. You need to remember that being a lawyer is a normal job. And I know that might sound ridiculous, but I know that when you're doing law and you're trying to become a lawyer, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like the most important, amazing, best thing in the world, but it's still a job. The people interviewing you, yes, they need to know that you'll be able to do the job and you have the academic ability to do so, but they also need to know that they'll be able to put up with you for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for the next however many years. I think if you solely focus on academics and you don't have any passions outside of the law and outside of work, that's not actually putting yourself in the strongest position that you could be in to secure a role. Think about it as if you were going to hire someone. Both candidates probably have the same academic ability. That's why they've gotten the interview in the first place. But you have candidate 1 who travels, who likes to bake, who plays tennis on the weekend, who goes out with their friends. Or you have candidate 2 whose whole life revolves around the law and they don't have anything else to talk about. You would think candidate 2 was pretty boring, and if you had to choose to spend all of your time with one of the two, you're probably going to go with candidate one. Does that make sense? Okay, I've actually still got a minute left, but I feel like I've waffled enough for the first episode. I don't want to scare anyone off. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me and kind of a little bit more about what I did before I came traveling, and that you found that interesting. Please do let me know in the comments if there are any topics that you would like me to discuss or anything you'd be interested in knowing. Obviously, it doesn't have to be law, it doesn't have to be travel, it could be anything that you would like to know. Or alternatively, if you just want me to shut up and show you some more of my cool stock and clips, then I can do that as well. Just let me know. As I said at the start, I'm just trying something new, so we'll see how it goes. As I said, I'm going to try and do one of these videos every day. So I will see you tomorrow for the next episode. Thank you for watching.